Wherever you are on this most pleasant evening, it's been spectacular to get inside the ground to a much anticipated game. The roads outside of the stadium have been bumper to bumper with traffic. The car parks are full. There is a torrent of humankind making its way from a nearby station, and we expect every seat to be filled. An atmosphere of great expectation and excitement. It's got it! He's put through his own net! Well, that wasn't in the script, and you have to feel for it, Peter. It's ended in some embarrassment. Oh, no, it's a goal! Oh, it's terribly unfortunate for them, and maybe we can attribute that to a loss of focus. Fortuitous. Well, a very warm welcome to you on this most pleasantly clear evening. Conditions absolutely beautiful. Perfect for the beautiful game. Temperatures are kind as well. No doubt playing a hand in high attendance levels as well as an elevated level of anticipation here. Oh, no, it's a goal! Well, that wasn't in the script, and you have to feel for it, Peter. It's ended in some embarrassment. Oh, it's got it! Unusual turn of events, and it was an honest attempt to help out. I suppose it can happen to anyone. Fortuitous as it may. It's got it! Well, a very warm welcome to you on this most pleasantly clear evening. Conditions absolutely beautiful. Perfect for the beautiful game. Temperatures are kind as well. No doubt playing a hand in high attendance levels as well as an elevated level of anticipation here. Surely this is the hot ticket going around in this neck of the woods. It surely must be. That a foul? Yes, the referee's given it. Berg. And he's shot the keeper fails. Quick glance at goal. Feghouli. Barbol. He's played him through. Claesson. Luyendama, and it's played forward. He's made sure that won't get through. Berg could be thinking about a shot here. Hits it! What a start, and what a contribution from the main man. I had a feeling he might do something, given his reputation, but to do it like that, absolutely brilliant. I wasn't expecting that. Reacted well to the initial effort, but couldn't get it right out of the danger area. Well, look, regardless of whether the keeper could have done better or not. Has it goal! Cabella. And it's Cabella. Claesson using impossible to wrestle the ball. Chance! Well, what can I say? Truly wonderful goalkeeping. Clear away. It's a poor throw that, picked off with relative ease. Play for a throw. Claesson. Donk. And it's Feghouli. Has he picked him out? Accusatory stare there tells the whole story. Quality deserted them when they really needed it. Claesson. Cabella. Feghouli. Over to the left. Tony de Vilhena. Questions were asked, and he's given the answers. Now it's Falcao. Tony de Vilhena plays it forward and back to base. Barbol. And here's Falcao. He's through the middle. He's tasting his CV. Tries to get it clear. Timely intervention. Berg plays it out to the flank. Finds himself eased off the ball. He's left his back. And the ball is out of play. Luyendama goes looking. And it's Falcao. Ball through, needs to be through here. He's off on the run. Ball's out on the left now. Looks to thread it through. And they've been caught out here. Can he get the ball? Shooting chance! Decent strike, picked it, missing goal. Away from the immediate danger. And here's Tony Donald. It's there! They have breathing space. Oh, beautifully dispatched. There was no reaching that.
Well, I think two keepers would have had a hard time keeping that one out, never mind one. There was real venom in the strike and clear composure from the placement.
It's 2-0.
Well, at 1-0 this contest was still nicely poised, but now that it's gone to 2, mindsets are affected a lot more. Winning one equal rebound, losing including the other.
Oh, Ray, and that'll be the final action of the first half. First half thoughts?
So why dither from here when they can repeat their first half success with another show of strength?
We're properly into the second 45 minutes.
Look, before they get too carried away with the thoughts of getting back into the game, they can't afford to slip up and concede another. The next goal becomes crucial.
Falcao, and the ball's come loose, and the chase is on. It's Falcao! Goes to the second Oh, that always looked like the outcome.
It's a simple game. The striker's job is to find the space as often as possible, and he did exactly that.
We have got ourselves a game here.
Well, I think they probably needed an early goal in this half, just to give them the confidence and belief to push on and look for an equaliser.
Chills one in. And that has been knocked away. It's got through. Clayson beats the offside trap. Through ball is intercepted. And now the breakaway. Feghouli. Feghouli. That's not going to make it.
This defence just doesn't trust itself to play a higher line.
Frighten the people getting it behind.
Yeah, absolutely. It just opens up the opportunity of not only the strikers getting behind, but the runners from midfield too.
Gets away from his opponents. Pressure stays on, it is a corner. Displaying his defensive capabilities there. That's no striker's tackle.
I think it's great to see that.
Say now that he hasn't been warned.
Yeah, and he has to change his ways, or this referee could soon change his status. good stuff. This is better.
Well, this isn't the time to talk about risks now, Tim, is it? They just have to hurl every... Tony Topolhena, his scoring skills have already been evident. No, that's not the ball he wanted. That is as far as they're going to go. Right through the middle. Shade too heavy. People can pick that up. Marcel Teixeira. Babel. Galatasaray have it back and they can go again. Tony Topolhena did well to step in there. That was more than necessary. Here's his goal! Big chance! They've scored!
Krasnodar are really pouncing on any stray passes in midfield. We're talking seconds from interception to the back of the net. It's counter-attacking heaven.
So, time for changes on both sides, actually. Krasnodar 2 up and into a position of real strength.
They've seen the light in the opposite.
Certainly proved there as a free kick. Galatasaray with a perfect chance to get one back. He looks advertising well within shooting range. Falcao! Gleison. Marcel Teixeira cuts it out. He acknowledges that he should have come up with something better there.
Peter, his body shape was a giveaway before he made the pass, and its obviousness was appreciated.
Well intercepted, really alert to the danger. There's the through ball. It's the goalkeeper's play. It's offside, I guess it is. Very well to intervene.
Falcao really got caught in a trap there, and he just couldn't get out.
Forward it goes. And that's been one straight, and the volley. And the lead is extended still further. A pretty simple finish in the end. What do you think?
I just think that's a good example of how you take advantage of a lapse in concentration. He was on the prowl, hungry, looking for any scraps that came his way. He certainly gobbled up the chance, took it really well.
Krasnodar lost themselves into a 3-goal lead. Get himself offside. interception. Clayson. And that will be the final act. Out-muscled, out-manoeuvred, outwitted. They just couldn't find any way into the game, and they are comprehensively beaten. So what do you take away from it all, Jim?
Galatasaray lost their way after falling behind early. Their concentration was weakened and their character, and that's cause for address.
And with that, it's time for me to thank Jim Begley and to wish you a very good evening.
Years of age. An immensely popular figure in the English game. A real heart-on-sleeve individual. But one thing he's not is a specialist penalty taker. It is Bethel. His moment is matched by his calm. Remember what it is. He scores, it's Sunday. It's Bruno Fernandes, the goalkeeper, committed himself horribly early and made the Portuguese's task all the more straightforward. 10 perfect penalties.
Well, luckily, the goalkeeper just gets him up. He gives himself up too early or too soon, so it's easy finish for Bruno Fernandes. But immediately afterwards, going over and works with Dean Henderson. It's the
At the age of 12, Duncan Watmore was part of the Manchester United Academy. His father, Ian, used to effectively run the FA Cup as head of the Football Association. Seen plenty of adversity, but not this time. Calmness personified, and Watmore nudges Middlesbrough back in front. For the 6th time in this shootout.
unbelievable. Showed great perseverance throughout his entire career. 2 horrible ACL injuries. Yet he has survived and had his moment.
And this is where, arguably, Middlesbrough's advantage in going first comes into play, because there is a frisson of fear to be felt by all the Manchester United takers. Bruno Fernandes overcame his. He had to score. McTominay similarly has to score. Scott McTominay through the goalkeeper. And we go to a 7th round.
See, this is in Lovely's mind. He left too soon on the previous penalty with Bruno Fernandes, so now he tries to hold his ground. And he feels like McTominay's going to hit this with pace, but kind of mid-level. He hits it low underneath the goalkeeper. Neither goalkeeper coming up big in this shootout so far.
So for the penalty-taking credentials of a number of players who strode forward so far, but not as serious as those against the name of Dale Fry. 1 senior goal in his career. And Fry snips up to the mark and is up to scratch.
What's been remarkable about these penalties is just the precision. I mean, this is hit with pace. And even if Dean Henderson guesses the right way, he's not getting a hand on that. Some real composure from Fine, a huge moment.
Statistically, laws of probability and all that, this can't go on. 13 successful penalties in a row. But who is going to be the one to falter? This is Diogo Dalot. Portuguese right back. Just one Manchester United career goal. Dalot, as with so many before him, making it look straightforward.
Well, it's the straightforward run, open the hips. Burnley again gets it early to his right. Opening the other side of the goal for Dalot.
Well, we have 33-year-old Johnny Howson. We've had 37-year-old Sol Bamba, and now it's 35-year-old Lee Peltier. Formerly of Liverpool. Peltier! That was trampling, but it was also rising rapidly, and there is one relief man.
You want to talk about some nervous energy. Peltier, the moment the whistle blew, he's on full sprint. And lucky for him, Middlesbrough, Dean Henderson goes the wrong way. How's this for a 19-year-old?
Those expressions, some can't look. There is ultimately always a fall guy. Here comes 19-year-old Anthony Elanga. His are the nerves to play. Manchester United broken at last, and Middlesbrough of the Championship have repeated their remarkable feat of winning a cup tie on penalties at Old Trafford. They did it 6 years ago in the League Cup, and now Chris Wilder's modern Middlesbrough are through to the last 16. They've bounced into round 5. And look what it means to 9,500 travelling supporters. Of course, the flip side to that, and these are scenes that echo the consolation of Bukayo Saka after his moments of dramatic failure at the European Championship in the summer. To a man, Anthony Elanga's Middlesbrough opponents and Manchester United teammates, both making the point of going to him and consoling him and saying, your day will come. But this is Middlesbrough's moment, a moment for players who've been stricken by serious illness, for a manager who parted company with the club that he loved more than any other. Just 8 months before, Chris Wilder, who has now gone on consecutive visits to Old Trafford, first with his beloved Blades, and now with his new club, Middlesbrough. If Ronaldo had scored the first half penalty, it could and probably would have been so very different. But instead, these are memorable Middlesbrough moments.
But this is why we love sport, because if you look at any kind of statistical analysis, you would have thought Manchester United won this game by 2 or 3 goals, and yet Chris Wilder the luck was on their side, the momentum was on their side. They played themselves back into this one, and this is why we love sport, because on any given day, anything can happen. And for those fans tonight, their cup final just happened at Old Trafford.
What a start to the 4th round weekend of the Emirates FA Cup. We will struggle to see as big an upset over the rest of this weekend programme. 15 more matches to come. Chris Wilder, this most unassuming of managers, soaking up the glory in the corner of Old Trafford. His side vanquishing Manchester United. Middlesbrough prevail on penalties, and it is they who march on to round 5.
into the latest edition of ESPN FC. Kate Murray here in the studio with Casey Keller and Craig Burley. We'll be looking back on the fourth round FA Cup game between Manchester United and Middlesbrough, ahead to the rest of the games that are coming up this weekend. We'll also be talking about the return of domestic football, Bundesliga and La Liga, much to discuss on the show. So initial thoughts on this one. What we do know is that Manchester United are out of the FA Cup. It was a penalty shootout against Middlesbrough. There were some controversial moments in it, though, Casey.
No, there were. And Manchester United started the game very brightly. They should have scored the penalty from Ronaldo, uncharacteristically pulls it wide. And then had some chances. Middlesbrough rolled their luck a couple different times, but then came out second half, and deserved the equalizer. Now, should have been called back because of the handball. Craig and I both clearly agree that it should have. But, hey, Middlesbrough kept fighting, kept going, got to extra time, made things difficult, and then talk about some quality penalties.
There are some conspiracy theories out there that people think I'm just rolled into this studio every time Manchester United lose. That's not true. Because this game was there for them to win. Although Middlesbrough have been doing well recently under Chris Wilder, who's been in there for a couple of months now, very experienced manager, on the up in the Championship.
Definitely.
The way this game started, it just smelled of 3 or 4-0, job done. But they didn't put Middlesbrough away when they had the chance, and they allowed them to build in confidence. They allowed them to become more dangerous in the second half. They started creating chances. They got the goal, albeit it was controversial. But then after that, United still had a good hour, include extra time, to put them away. And they didn't do it. Well, you can look at poor play, you can look at poor finishing from Bruno Fernandes, which is all true. But this just goes down, as good as this is for Middlesbrough, and this is brilliant, as you well know, for that part of the country, and that town, and that club. Particularly with the momentum this could give them for a championship challenge to the playoff. This is just another embarrassment, another blot in the copybook of this so far shambolic Manchester United season, which has gone from bad results to a sacking of a manager to all sorts of unrest, it seems, at the training ground, other stories, a new manager, same old problems, and now an embarrassing home defeat. Not good enough for Man United, absolutely brilliant from Middlesbrough.
Well, let's take a look back at how it all went down in this game. It's kicking off the weekend as well, so it's the first cup set that we are seeing, and we always hope to see a few more, especially in a competition like the FA Cup. In the second minute, we're actually getting off the hook here. There's a mix-up at the back between Dale Fry and Joe Lumley. What you will see is Jadon Sancho trying.
When goalies and centre-backs get as close as that,
It's not good, no. And then, Sancho just with this delicate chip over Lumley and just the width of the crossbar comes to the rescue.
6th minute, Cristiano Ronaldo tries the spectacular overhead bicycle kick. Joe Lumley
I think if it came in from the other side, it would have been a little bit easier for him. It was a difficult opportunity. And then Paul Pogba just gets wrong side of the defender. Then there's a slip. We see here, he slips and then just lands on the Achilles. So, yeah, absolutely no doubt about it. It's a penalty kick.
Penalty given there. Dijksteel bringing his man down. Cristiano Ronaldo steps up to take it and blast it wide.
Yeah, I don't think it goes the right way. I don't know if that made Ronaldo think he needed to be that little bit more precise, but he struck it well, but just pulled it that little bit wide. And this just seemed to be the theme for Manchester United, that opportunities not taken.
And guys, you mentioned those opportunities, and they were coming, particularly in the first half. We're taking it to the 23rd minute now. We see Bruno Fernandes managing to beat the offside trap when he blasts over.
Yeah, not a difficult skill, and I think he was half thinking the flag might have went up anyway, but it didn't because he was onside. And at that point, even though it was 0-0, you're thinking, listen, it's created so many chances.
Yeah, but it was to come.
Yeah, again, Middlesbrough just pushing that high line, which was surprising. And Sancho originally brings the ball down. Maybe he wanted to get it more informed, and it comes out wide, but he brings it down well enough. And then when he needs the benefit, he gets it with the slight deflection that then just takes it away from Borough's goalkeeper and into the side netting. And you thought at this stage that this was it. This was then and you kicking on.
Yeah, especially because it looked at some moments as though they were going to double that advantage. Bruno Fernandes with some really good work here, manages to find Cristiano Ronaldo, but his shot goes wide.
Yeah, even though there's Rashford at the back post, as soon as the arm goes up, that's I know you're there, but I was always going to be shooting anyway. But the surprise was how open Middlesbrough wanted to play this game early on.
And it's something that Chris Wilder had said before the game. They weren't going to be fearful. They were going to try and play the way that they have been doing this season. Although they can switch it up and they can adapt it. But yeah, Craig said definitely came out and tried to play the football that they've been playing. 34th minute, Balogun shot for Middlesbrough here.
Yeah, to me, that was the rare opportunities you thought, okay, needed something special. And then we go into the second half. You really felt that, okay, Manu's going to get the next one, and Rashford wasting a good chance at the far post, not getting the shot on target.
Onside, yeah.
Should he have done better, Craig?
Yeah, he's onside. I think, again, he's probably thinking, flag's going to go up, that's going to bail me out. And again, we talked at half-time about the balls in behind, how United were looking to play them forward quickly. Picks out Ronaldo, not an easy strike, but hits the side netting. But again, it's good pressure after the break from Manchester United.
And it's also, again, not forcing Lumley into have to make a save. What has been that we've seen just so many balls just miss, hit the post, over the crossbar.
And the 57th minute, this at the time was Borough's best moment, and Dean Henderson with the save.
Yeah, but around this point, just coming up to the hour, they were starting to build into the game. You just felt when they did get some possession, they made better use of it than they did in the first half, and they looked more likely that they were going to trouble Dean Henderson.
And now here comes the controversial equaliser for Middlesbrough. It's Duncan Lockmore with a handball there, seemed in the build-up. Matt Crooks with the goal, but VAR would determine that this goal should stand. This is a controversial moment.
To me, it's clearly, as Craig read after the match, in between before the penalty shootout, with the rule that he's obviously having a clear advantage of making himself bigger. It wasn't called somehow in the great equalizer, but then straight afterwards, Lumley just giving the opportunity, and Bruno Fernandes does great to win it in the middle, and then with the goal gaping just off the post.
77th minute, Manchester United, chance again, ball's laid off to Bruno Fernandes.
Doesn't really connect. Don't think he quite believed. Didn't really have much back left in it, but for somebody like him, I'm expecting him to strike that ball a lot better than he did.
And still taking it to the dying stages at a regular time here. Chances still coming.
Yeah, I mean, that's not an easy header from Fred, kind of in that area, going away from goal, but still, what's the pattern we're seeing? We're seeing, again, these shots not on target.
And then into the dying stages, we're in stoppages now. Manchester United still trying to find a winner.
Yeah, look, Middlesbrough gave them enough chances. Not that Middlesbrough came and said, no, 10 men behind the ball, going to frustrate you. Middlesbrough said, we're going to play a game, you'll get your chances and we'll take ours. We'll gamble. And we know we're a good side, and we know we'll create one or two chances, and they did as the game went on. But it's not like United can say, oh, this team just came to defend and it was difficult. This was an open game. And as you can see, there's just plenty of chances. As Casey said, they're not making the goalkeeper work enough.
And then the clock was ticking, and you did wonder, started to look that more and more
And
chances of
then
recovery.
they finally got one on target.
Yeah.
And Bruno Fernandes with a good header. That was, I think, actually called a goal kick. So
That looked like it was going to be the winner there at that point. Great little flick. Corner had just come off the bench, former Brighton player, decent save from Henderson, and he's thinking at this point, oh, it could all go wrong.
Yeah, nearly in. So let's go to the penalty shootout then, shall we? Forrest took it first. Paddy McNair steps up, scores.
Oh.
Then came Juan Mata.
So hold on, we're doing all 54 penalties?
Yeah, we did all 54 penalties. Then Martin Payero.
We're pretty good, weren't we? I mean,
I think each goalkeeper had one just kind of slide underneath of them, and those are the frustrating ones for goalkeepers for sure. But
Harry Maguire,
I mean,
scores his.
questions about Maguire, he just slams it into the side netting.
I felt, every time somebody stepped up,
Well, the trouble is, the keeper can't move the back foot off the line now. I remember at this point,
halfway to the 6-yard box.
Casey Keller would have been shaking hands with the referee.
Fred scores his.
You can't move that back foot now, so there's a definite advantage for the penalty taker. Not to say it's easy, but the goalkeeper has to wait even later than they used to.
Tavernier scored his, and Cristiano Ronaldo this time made no mistake.
And so often as a goalkeeper, when you have the opportunity to be the hero, it's because somebody makes that little bit of a mistake where your teammates continue to put the ball in the back of the net. And I think that's what you got to give the Borough players so much credit, because as we got deeper and deeper, they just kept showing up, waiting for that opportunity.
And with that, we were worried about Watmore because he came on, played really well, but used a big slice of that luck up in the goal, and we thought, is it? But no, he was, and then McTominay had to score. Again, to Casey's point, it just slipped under the goalkeeper.
And King Delphi, centre-back, born in Middlesbrough.
And I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, it looked like full of confidence.
We're now into the people that certainly did not want it.
They never thought they were going, this is the best. That penalty right there.
And this ultimately decided it.
Yeah.
Neil Anger.
Yeah, young guy, unfortunate, but, somebody's going to miss a penalty, and, it's just the way it is. And somebody was happy.
Oh, no.
Oh, here we go.
Obviously, that was me just celebrating the fact that we got more FA Cup action. We wanted to see as much as possible, and happy to see it go into extra time and penalties. But
well, unfortunately for you, I've just been told that whoever Middlesbrough draw, you are officially now off all Middlesbrough games. It's been a company decision has been made at executive level that you have to no longer do any Middlesbrough games.
I did tell you before the game, the last time they met Manchester United in cup competition, it was the League Cup, it did go to penalties, and Middlesbrough did win. I made a silly bet that time, and I didn't this time around. I ended up running into the North Sea on charity. Made sure not to make any bets this time around. Nathan Manua was at the game. He managed to hide away and not upset any of the Manchester United fans. You're going to have to sneak out after that result, Nathan. Talk to us about everything you saw.
No, they're all gone now. They're all gone. Lots of red seats. It was strange. After that first half, I thought United are just going to be cruising, especially in the second. But for some reason, it just wasn't there. They didn't seem to play in the same sort of style. And for Borough, they were encouraged. And this Craig's been alluding to that. It wasn't as if United didn't have chances. But as time was passing, you think, well, is this going to be Middlesbrough's day? United, they weren't playing in the same sort of style. So Baba, like he's enjoying his penalty. Lee Kelsey enjoying theirs. Like it was a great moment for them. And you could argue about whether they deserved it because it would depend whether you support United or you support Borough. But it was a great FA Cup tie. Also, I need to mention. It was a shame to see Elanga miss that penalty for it to cost United, but credit to Manchester United because as he was walking off the field, there were thousands of fans in the corner who were singing his name. And I thought that was very touching given the last year or so that we've had. And hopefully, something that doesn't affect him long term because it's a big prospect for them. But overall, the blue undercover at Old Trafford survived. Got to see your mighty Borough win again. Happy days.
It's nice of Nathan to mention that and to see that happened. It's not going to come down to Elanga's missed penalty, though, is it?
No, and it's the same as the English boys, the young boys for England that missed the penalties in the Euros. Only an absolute idiot will get on a player's back for missing a penalty, particularly youngsters. So,
well, what does it mean, this result?
But just for the young boy himself, most of us have been in a situation where not so much a penalty missing a shootout, but we made a mistake or we've done something. You go away, you beat yourself up about it if you're a goalie, you've done something, and then you go home and you sort of beat yourself up about it and blah blah blah. But then you're professionals, you've got to rub yourself down and come back from it. It's not the end of the world, it's a disappointment. But as one manager said to me many years ago, the man that never made a mistake, never made anything. So you kind of move on, and I think I was more interested with Nedum's in the crowd reaction to the players as the game was going on, as the frustration was sort of boiling over, and I think that's a kind of encapsulates United's whole year, whole season, is that it has been frustrating, and that the crowd are always looking for a little bit more, and just when they think they're going to get it, it sort of falls flat on its face again. You know, like it looked as if it was going to be a home run after 45 minutes, and then it's all gone sort of pear-shaped. That kind of sums United up, but if you don't put these teams away, then you always run the risk. But, fair play to Middlesbrough. As I said to you at half-time, I've seen Premier League teams that have spent 100 million more come and not even put up a fight to some of these Premier League teams. At least Middlesbrough came and said, all right, if you beat us 4 or 5-0, fine, but we're going to come and have a go, and we'll see what happens.
Can you bring it down to the fact that definitely on one side it really is a happy camp, and on the other side there's all sorts going on behind the scenes, Casey?
Well, I think there was moments in the last 4 to 6 weeks you were kind of seeing maybe some of the performance from Manchester United get better, maybe a little bit more consistent. Maybe had they turned the corner and then you lose to a championship team at home, and you have the conversations where, Rangnick's being, he's talking about a player and that player saying, no, that's not what was said, and obviously that doesn't help the current situation at Man U. The fact of the matter is they're still in 4th place. They still have a chance for qualifying for Champions League, but there's a lot of things behind the scenes at that club that still looks like it needs to be cleaned up.
None of us want to hear after this anything about Ralph Rangnick's training, anything about the coaching, anything about the tactics. I don't want to hear those excuses. Don't want to hear them. It's Middlesbrough, the championship team. You are one of the most expensively assembled teams in the world. You've just signed a World Cup winner in Raphael Varane. You've just spent 100 million, one of the most supposedly young, talented wingers from Borussia Dortmund. Right? You've got all these other players.
You bring back Ronaldo, right? You bring back Ronaldo. Bruno Fernandes, who's last season at times looked like he was going to be a player for Manchester United that's going to go in the history books. And
I don't want to hear any of these leaks about that, about that. I coach got us in 2 days in a row, or we were training twice, or I don't want to hear it. And I'll tell you the other problem. You had a potential match winner. And but he's bringing on, with all respect, Juan Mata, who's been a great player, but not recently. And you've got Jesse Lingard, match winner. He said he didn't want to play. He said he was available. This doesn't look good when you're going out in the FA Cup to a team who are on an absolute button of a budget compared to you at your home ground with all these star players. You've got all these problems, and you've got a player sent at home who could change a game. The stories are different. Amongst all the other issues that are going on, it just does not paint. And I don't for 1 second believe Ralph Rangnick, even for a millisecond, thought when he walked in it was as big a mess behind the scenes that it's turned out to be.
Middlesbrough did get a favourable decision, though, for the equalising goal. Nathan, I'd be interested to know what the reaction was in the stadium from the home fans after that. And for the players, too, did you notice any type of drop-off or them letting their heads drop after that decision went against United?
To be honest, it was a bit funny before that. I think the sort of mood in the place was a bit down, but the decision itself was a crazy one. And I think myself and pretty much everyone who watched the game, you're in a position whereby you almost feel like you're learning a new rule about a game which you've played or watched for many, many years. It just felt like it was handball. Felt like it was going to be overturned. You're looking around, is there VAR? Yeah, there must be. So I guess that means it's going to be disallowed. But I don't know, it was strange. It was a very, very strange moment. It's a bit eerie, because even still everyone's like, well, it's definitely going to get changed. But very quickly, on it went. And then from there, you could see Borough, they were buoyed. They were, it's 1-1 in the game. They think they're going to have an opportunity. It turned out United were just a bit too wasteful today, but the mood was very strange. I think everybody expected that to get disallowed. I could probably argue it's some Middlesbrough players, but the fact is it wasn't. unfortunately enough, they just didn't react because from then they created a couple more chances, but they never really had the stranglehold in the game like they did earlier on.
Let's clarify that decision. And if you were lucky enough to be watching the coverage, you'd have seen Craig put his sparkly new glasses on to rip this one out. On Middlesbrough's goal against Manchester United, Simon Stone from BBC Sports said, "This is what I have received back as the reason for the equaliser being given. As we know, accidental handball in the build-up to a goal doesn't now mean the goal is disallowed. In this instance, the on-field decision was that it was accidental handball. As the ball came off the player's body onto his arm, the VAR agreed."
But that contradicts this.
Here's Law 12.
So that that statement you just read out contradicts what a handball offence is. If a player touches the ball with a hand arm, then it has made their body unnaturally bigger. Which I don't doubt anybody who could watch that and say Watmore's arm wasn't out making his body bigger. Whether it was intentional or not, or an accident, it is a nonsense, and I'll tell you why. Right? There'll be people who watch the games and watch this show and debate all these decisions, will say, "Oh, it's not intentional." Trust me, you watch all the decisions over any league over a weekend. Most of the handballs that are given are not intentional. How many handballs do you see with somebody like pushing it forward? Maybe one or two. When a defender is defending a cross and he does this, he's not intentionally trying to handle the ball, he's just made his arm bigger. If the ball then strikes his arm and his arm is out there, a penalty is given because he's unnaturally made his arm bigger. He hasn't intentionally tried to play the ball. So it's convoluted in the way it's written, but Casey and I are both, and I think Nedham's on the same page, is that once he has the bad touch, it then hits his arm, which is extended and has made his arm bigger. It then has a material effect on the build-up, i.e. he plays it across.
The weird part about it, it doesn't even just like hit his arm. He
It's like a swing around.
He actually slaps it. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's one thing if you. I mean, how many times have you seen that? Ball takes a deflection, comes up, hits somebody, and then you see him put his arms behind his back. Like, oh, no, he's actually in motion. Snapping it down to him.
I can see it.
Watch, coming off. Wow.
I can hear Robbie Mustoe at home somewhere in Connecticut just shouting at the TV. I said, we're not anti-Middlesbrough, this was Man United, we were not anti-Man United, we're trying to clear up a law and a decision here that is sometimes convoluted.
To me, this is the whole reason why VAR was invented.
But it is the new law that has enabled it, though. That's what we will say. Whether you like the interpretation, whether you agree with that decision or not, that's what's enabled this goal to stand.
I like the new law on the fact that...
No, that's it, because Law 12
Law 12.
if an arm is extended,
the idea was made that I smash a ball off of Craig, who has no opportunity whatsoever to get himself out of the way. His hands aren't over his head. He's not making himself bigger. And then just because it inadvertently hit his hand in the action of a goal being scored, now we have to call it back. That's fine. I totally agree with that, but that is not this case. This case is exactly what Law 12 says, and it was a mistake from VAR, and it was a mistake from the referee, and at one time I would love to see the Referees Association say, you know what, we got that one wrong. I would love to see them say that, but it's not going to happen.
But I also don't want to, I talked about the players, I don't want to hear Ralph Rangnick using that as an excuse either.
No, I mean, not at all.
We can all talk about decisions that go and don't go for you. Yeah, it was an impactful point of the game, but please don't use that as an excuse.
That can't be an excuse.
I don't think that's an excuse for Manchester United at home with so much domination, particularly against a team that are nowhere near as good in terms of quality, everything against them, who really United should have just played them off the park with the difference in quality. Should have done. And they didn't do it.
So then even after they got the equalizer, then they tried to give them the chance back past the and they still couldn't take it down.
There were some paragraphs. Nathan, you wanted in on the handball decision.
No, I was agreeing with Craig, because to be honest, like, as a defender, what's the benefit in trying to handle it? You know, it's absolutely not a thing. But to reference that goal itself, I think if the ref sees it and he blows his whistle, we won't get one single complaint from anybody at all. But the fact that he seems to have 71,000 million sold in real time, every possible angle within Old Trafford. Seems a bit strange, but I guess you need that there as well. And as Craig said, you can't have that as the reason why he didn't win today. Because they've had 30 shots on goal. They've played at home, they've had huge opportunities, but just weren't able to execute, and as a consequence, that's on them. You can be aggrieved about the goal, but that goal shouldn't have been so decisive, and I think ultimately, as I say, this is going to be down to them, and they need to do some serious soul searching. Because for me, stuff like this shouldn't happen. For as good as Borough have been since Wilder took over, you're at home, you're Manchester United. You've got one of the best squads that you've probably assembled in years, and this has to be a very, very big low point for them.
How big of a deal is it, Craig, Manchester United going out?
Well, I think if I was Borough, would be encouraged to get the end of the season and play up, but very open but the players, particularly the manager, I think for United, has not given away any doubts from there to get the top four, particularly with top four and changing management there a couple of months ago, and clearly that's their big fight domestically is the top four and squeezing in there, because it looks like Chelsea will be third, probably ish, maybe. Then it's a fight at the moment between Liverpool and City, and then it's a blunt fight between the rest. West Ham, who we've got tomorrow in the cup against Kidderminster, Arsenal, who have improved, United, who are like that, and Tottenham, who, the longer Conte's in there, the more work he has to do with it. It struggles against the better teams, but they can play against the teams that have to be in
A big deal for Manchester United. Not going on.
I mean, because we keep talking about Manchester United turning a corner, and can they get that consistency back? You get a couple good results in the league, you think, okay, maybe it's moving in that direction, and then you slip up at home against the championship team. It only just brings everything down. It's not only us, but the fans, the players themselves, it's all going to be that little bit more spotlight on what has been a very inconsistent club for 10 years now.
Manchester United need on the football field some good news at the moment. There's a lot of things happening at that club that I'm not going to go into. That's a separate matter. But you don't want to keep coming into the training ground, on a low all the time. You want to get the players coming in, you get ready and get focused for the next game. And this just piles more questions with the headlines in the UK papers tomorrow morning again. Then the players will be out for training. You don't come in bouncing around, joking with your mates, when you've just been dumped out of the cup by a lower league team. So it's not a great training ground to be at the moment, and when it's not a great training ground, then that becomes a problem at a weekend, because as we know, when you're in a good Monday to Friday, whatever it is, and the boys are bubbly and everything, and the coaching's good, and everybody's smiling, and you're looking forward to the next game, that's a good place to be. I think at United, there's so much trepidation around at the moment, and concern about the performances, because even the wins at Brentford and against West Ham at home, were not brilliant. Right. I mean, they could have been dead buried in London at Brentford by half-time. They were lucky they were not. The West Ham game, it was only that goal in the 93rd or 94th minute, so it's a big few.
But there's also confidence that comes with necessarily not playing your best, but still finding a way to get a result.
Yeah.
When you then play much better than your opponent, get the post, get the crossbar, miss the target again, get a bad call, go against you. It's this pile-on effect. And not only is it going to the training ground and doing that, it's also just in your normal life. It's going out and just hearing whispers from fans. It's picking up a newspaper and going, all right, here's more again. And like Craig said, there's enough things going on at this club right now that you didn't need this to pile on. And so it's going to be interesting to see what the reaction is from the players in the club in league form going forward now. And can they put this behind quickly, get a good run in the league, and consolidate that Champions League spot?
There's a mini plus point. Pogba got 80 minutes plus some game time, which is a plus when you've been out so long. The case you point,
Sancho gets a goal, but then has to come off maybe with a
Sancho gets a goal, and there's a little bit of luck with it, but gets a goal. And then I was talking at half time about him getting 1-on-1, And then we're watching again, and Casey said to me, there, he's done it again. He got the ball on the left-hand side, and Bruno Fernandes made an overlap and just crowded the area. See, if I'm an experienced player in the side, and I've got a player like Jadon Sancho, I'm on his case during the game, and I'm encouraging him, and I'm telling him, and I'm saying to him, when you get that ball, get it. Your first thought is not come back, is get that defender one-on-one, that full-back. Drive him into the box, because he won't want to make a challenge, and then let's see those little tricks and skills that you've learned and the reason we've signed you. But too many times with the wide players, I'm seeing them stick the ball out and then overlap, so the full-back can cross it out. If I'm signing a player for 100 million, I want to give him the ball and say, go and showcase your talent. Too often, I'm seeing the likes of Sancho get the ball and 2 or 3 United players coming over and crowding the area and bringing 2 or 3 defenders over. And it's difficult for the lad, and you don't see the best.
Well, not only is that the right back that conceded the penalty and then deflected off his foot for the goal. He must be thinking, oh, please, don't take me on. Don't get me isolated one-on-one. And then it never happens.
Nathan, so just a result like this does keep them negative focus on Manchester United, a negative focus that they're hoping to shake off for the second half of the season?
Yes, it's not the greatest start to this second half of the season for them, but at the end of the day, they've still got that race for the top 4, and they're still in the Champions League, so as a consequence, people will be, I think it's Champions League, but I think people will be, look, there's stuff to look forward to, but it was very dim in here, and the sad thing is, for as good as they were in the first half, as they started to sort of cave in the second half, you looked around, it's almost like people expected it. So they need to be able to find a way to break that. And some of these performances, like they've shown glimpses. In the first half, I thought they were good. But then the fall-off, as they had in the second, it's not good enough. For a side that wants to be successful, a side that wants to compete with some of those big guys in the Premier League right now and in and around Europe, they have to do better. And thankfully for them, they've still got a bit of time. And now they don't need to worry about any extra FA Cup games anyway. So yeah, good luck to them.
You do have to worry about some more FA Cup games though, Naden. We'll be hearing from you more this weekend, probably in a much more friendly territory, Man City against Fulham. Plenty of action coming up as we thank Naden Anua for his work today. All these games available on ESPN+, and we hope for more cup sets this weekend. Lots of Premier League sides in action and every single game available to see. The Bundesliga is back, and it's back with a bang. Bayern Munich still sitting on top, 6 points ahead of Borussia Dortmund at this stage. And this weekend, we have 4 teams from the top 6 facing off against one another. Bayern Munich against Leipzig is one of those clashes on Saturday. Coverage starts at 12:15 Eastern as Archie Rintut now joins us to talk about what's ahead this weekend in the Bundesliga. Little suave green top today, no bright coloured jackets today, Archie.
I'll tell you what, Archie, you've gone a bit safe today, I think.
I'll take that. Sometimes you've got to mix things up. You can't always be going for the same stuff. You've got to be, keeping people on their toes. So that was my thing.
Like it, Archie. Okay, so now that we've got Fashion Corner out of the way, let's talk about this game between Bayern and Leipzig coming up, because this is 2 coaches facing off against one another who went to coaching school together.
It's almost as if you knew what the sporting headline was today.
You have the papers today.
What does that say?
Oh, I do. So it's talking about the Klassentreffen, which is the meeting in class of the Trainerstaff, the coaching staff, and you can see that Domenico Tedesco and Julian Nagelsmann in their slightly younger days. They are only 34 and 36, respectively, Nagelsmann and Tedesco, but that was back when they were completing their final coaching course in Germany some 7 seasons ago. And Julian Nagelsmann was talking in the press conference about how, because he was the youngest in the class, he didn't want to be the guy who was considered the biggest nerd and was trying to sit at the back of the class. He didn't manage to achieve that, and instead, every time that the main teacher was walking past, he had to make sure that he couldn't Google anything, whilst he said that others in the class got away with watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy 44 times. So, Nagelsmann does have this, I would say, ability to really chat with some charisma in his press conferences. And I think that actually there's a serious point to be made here, which is it's this kind of charisma that helps him as a coach as well, to be able to get messages across to players who are more in his age range as well. So Domenico Tedesco is somebody who puts himself at Schalke, things went south there, but as you can see, the Schalke are right now in second division. It wasn't all on him. So he made a good start at RB Leipzig. They've got a 100% record so far in 2022. This promises to be a good game, and I think that Leipzig have a chance of turning over Bayern, even if Bayern are still definitely the favourite.
Yeah, as you mentioned, he's done very well since he has taken over from this side, but this is obviously a big test against Bayern, the leaders. So you think there's a chance there. How do the sides stack up, and why do you think there's a chance when you look at what's happening on the pitch?
Because RB Leipzig do have incredible attacking quality going forward. Most prominently, Christopher Nkunku, who is having a terrific season and will definitely have big clubs fishing around him in the summer. I also look at RB Leipzig's bench and the fact that, as it's been predicted, tomorrow they will have Dominic Soboslai and Danny Olmo on that bench.